in the same way, if we allow this autonomy to work, which is the correct thing, but it will take about a decade.
For it to work.
No, it will take about a decade of training, of deepening democracy, of deepening responsibility for it to begin to work. But we must allow them, then we must deal with the committee should be able to kill the chairman who eat the money. In fact, if the chairman eats the money, they should come together and lynch him.
Right.
When they lynch him, I'm talking of physically lynch him.
Okay.
When they start lynching them, then they will become responsible. Then there would begin to be responsible governance. Because if we begin to work, if the government begins to work now, then the states will begin to work. Because there will be democracy. Town hall democracy. Real town hall, not the sham town hall issue, but real town hall democracy. Because the people are going to sit, it's like myself talking with Ngozi or talking with you. We have to, it's like a family now. In a family, even if your brother is the governor, or he's the giant, that will not stop you from seeing him and telling him, be a mic. You can't, don't come and Zuzu where you're here. So that is when we will begin to have real democracy in the country. But first, out of the bombs that we are going to fall into, because the communities must begin to take responsibility for their own money. If the man is their money, they should deal with him.
All right. Now, PDP governors are going to meet in Enugu today. According to reports, about 10 out of 13 of them have actually arrived. Okay. Now, do you think that this local government autonomy should be part of the conversations that they should have? Because they need to also be, how do I say it? They need to be in connection. These things cannot happen without the governors.
Yeah.
Do you think this should be a major part?
It should be a major part because we have to work out. You know what? There's what we call the Local Government Services Commission. You know, so it should be a major part if it's a political party really. Because what is a political party? According to Box, a body of men united for promoting by the joint table the national interest. If the political parties of Nigeria are organic entities, these things should be discussed. Because yes, but they are not organic. They are not organic. They just sit down and distribute money, and that is the problem. So if they meet, they should discuss it and then look at 1991 and see how it failed, and then see whether it is going to work in 2024. You know, then they plan how to deal with issues. But I think it is important that this nation works. This idea of everybody jackpying is not good. And people are jackpying, and people are kidnapping, and people are doing all those things because the system is not working. We cannot pretend that the system is working. This system is not working. And anything that we have to do to get it to work, you cannot walk the street today. If you go to it, I don't want to mention any state because I don't want people to say that I'm embarrassing them. There are states now that people you cannot walk into. Look at the whole of Southeast. There's kidnapping is everywhere now. And it's everywhere because the young men go to school, you come out from the university, you come out from ministerial institution, you come out from secondary school, there is no employment. I see a lot of young men. When I go to NTA, I see my brothers, they are working as slaves. Casualization of labor. These people are slaves. And you come, it doesn't make sense to me. So we have to have responsible governance. When we begin to have it, and any structure that we have to create, any structure that has to help us, the meaning of all these are all structures. The government is an organization structure. State government is an organization structure. Federal government is an organization structure. These structures are supposed to work for better life. But if they're not granting better life, that becomes the problem. So the governors should discuss, if they are a political party, they should discuss that issue of local government. And they should discuss on how to get it work, not on how to sabotage it. The problem that we are going to have
to get it work,
not to how to sabotage it, because they are going to plan how to sabotage it, because everybody likes making use of that local government money. Everybody likes making use of it. So it looks like the federal government has played a card. But the problem is that the federal government must also come in and look at 1991 and see how it failed and see how to get it work. People must be made to be responsible. Because this idea of looking at pleasure instead of responsibility, because we have two things. Pleasure is a principle, but I don't think it's a good value. Yeah? But responsibility is a good value. So let us talk of responsible governance. And that's my own worry about local government autonomy. Are they going to understand that now we're on Wakana Wafifa?
Now, we're talking about funds here, because that was the final decision.
Financial autonomy, yes.
Yes, the funding now, the finances of the local government was the last nail in that coffin. Okay, so some states are rushing to conduct local government elections. What the Supreme Court judgment reads is that no governor, not their cronies, whoever they appointed, whatever, except elected local government leaders no one should access local government funds. And that is to say that money will no longer be paid into the joint account of between the states.
Joint account commission.
It's no longer going to be paid into the account. In the meantime, Prof, what will happen to financial transactions in local government?
Yeah, I think you just made a point that is important. It's interesting. People have not looked at it, but I'm coming from a different angle. When I sat down and started hearing people complain, then it occurred to me that the framers of the, we talk of framers of the Constitution. Those people that frame the Constitution, they may not have been thinking about Jack from the angle that people are looking at it. The Jack might not have been about putting the money of the local government into the account of the state. That's from the federation account. The Jack might have been, if you look at the whole Constitution comprehensively, the Jack might have been about every state is supposed to give 10% of their IGR to the local governments, because that money comes from the local governments. There's no area of the state that's not within the local government. Even the government house is within the local government. So there's supposed to be 10% of the IGR of the state that should even get to the local government. So I believe that Jack was supposed to be for that particular 10%, not the other one. But then there's a political angle to what she has raised about this election. If you go to Britain, to UK, or you read about them, or you go to America, local governments are autonomous. They organize their own elections. They organize their own elections. Just like every town union organizes their own elections. They don't need anybody to come and organize it for them. My village union, Inimbo Improvement Union, we organize our elections. People don't need to come and organize elections for us. Mbo Moae, they don't need anybody to come and organize it for them. But they will come up with this just like town unions. They give to the Ministry of local whatever, local rural development. They give them their member, their leadership, the executive of the. So I do not think that it should be a worry. That's why I said that I'm giving 10 years for a decade, about a decade, for the reality of autonomy
to dawn on us.
To begin to work. But if the federal government, you know that the man, our president now, whatever he wants to achieve, he knows how to achieve it. So if he's really serious about local government autonomy, he will be able to give it to them. Seriously, beyond the Supreme Court decision, the state governors should not be the ones managing the elections, unless we are able to see we are able to see free, fair, and credible process. If we're able to see free, fair, and credible process, they can organize it. Otherwise, it should be done. Even though at the level of our INEC, we are supposed to see how INEC is working. So it's a whole long. That's why I started talking of 10 years that would allow us to begin to experience the reality. What Chimamanda Ngozi would call the dividends of democracy. To begin to talk of the dividends of this autonomy. So the dividends of this autonomy must come from allowing the people to begin to talk of the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And if we're able to do that, and if we succeed at the local government level, Nigeria would have set Africa on a threshold to democracy. Because for now, I don't know where it is working in Africa, even though the origin comes from Igbo land. But I don't think it's working anywhere now in Africa. Democracy.
No, we're wondering, why does it have to take so long when policies can be implemented, as in the state government or the local governments can be mandated to implement a certain policy that would enable it.
Why it has to take 10 years is because
why does it have to take that long?
It will take this. What I said 10 years, it's not like cast on stone.
Yes.
But I'm just looking at the character of the Nigerian politician. Because, like we just mentioned now, all the governors are rushing to conduct local government election. And they are doing it because, how do you do? Okay, if you look at one of the states in the south, everybody's running away. Because people are taken to shrines where they swear to oath. And when they take this oath of allegiance, of this, of that, under the fear of one shrine or one force, whether it is physical force or spiritual force, then they are subject to that particular force. So these are the issues. So the governors are not doing badly. They are trying to survive. It's about political survival. But the problem now is the people of Nigeria, are they citizens?
Real citizens?
No, are they citizens? Democracy is about citizens. It's about citizenship. If you go back to the old Igbo community, of the ancient days, or you go back to the old Greek community from where we learned the word citizenship, then you go back to the work of Pericles. Citizenship is about membership. Are we members of this? Because we are being treated as if we are subjects, and because this subjection or subjugation of the people into a slave mode, then we begin to think that people are dashing us our rights. That's why our brother, when he was alive, said, "You cannot dash me my right. You cannot dash me my right." But the problem is that freedom, that right, are we ready to manage it? Or are we going to die like the prodigal son and come back begging again? Because the local government must begin to appreciate that the prodigal son fought for his freedom and ended up being a beggar and then rushed back to the father. So are we going to have the 1991 issue come back to Nigeria? This is my major fear about this. So ordinarily, it's not a problem. We should enjoy. We can't go to the white man. One day I was coming back from the US and I saw all our legislators, so many of them, including the current COS of the federal government. They were coming, and I was saying to myself, I was coming from a seminar, and I was saying to myself, these people visit all these places. When they come back to this country, what do they even learn anything? So, are we going to learn anything from other countries? Nigerians are even visiting Rwanda today. Sometimes it's a shame or it's a sham. I don't know which one to call it. So I get confused. So that's my major worry. I'm getting confused whether we are really out, because our people, if you come to a place called Local Government, which is our own local government, our local government is made up of 20 towns. 20 towns. I'm not talking about autonomous communities. So the 20 towns should be able to walk to our local government headquarters with their TUs, town unions, president, and their traditional rulers, and then tell the chairman, this is what you want. This is what we want. That is the meaning of this autonomy. It's not about they're sitting down and somebody sits down somewhere and begins to give them 100,000 naira as the what do you call it? What they give to Igbo's every month, 100,000 naira.
Allowances.
No, the allowance. It's not about the allowance. The allowance is a different issue. It's the people that should sit down. It's not. Everybody's talking about constitution now. They are saying that the constitution, which constitution provided for what they give to the members of the National Assembly. We are talking about now the constitution. They are saying that the constitution didn't provide for that. Yeah. Is there any place in the constitution where they provided that members of the National Assembly should be going with the humongous amount? It's not in the constitution. The constitution is just a small paper. In fact, the American constitution is just about, it's 12 pages. Nigeria's one is so big and still not being implemented. But the American constitution is just 12 pages. In fact, that of Britain is unwritten constitution. When they see what is good, they do it. Anything that the court decides that is good, it's part of the constitution. Anything that the legislature says that's good, it's part of anything that the executive comes up and they say is good, it's part of the constitution. That's why it is an unwritten constitution. But Nigeria has a written constitution and nothing is happening with it. And then let me now throw more trouble into it. If we begin to talk of the local government autonomy, then they should go parliamentary. They should go parliamentary.
Okay. We will get to what.
No, they should go parliamentary so that the people will sit down and decide on this amount of money that we are going to use for running our government. Then this money should come. But if we continue to do this executive system, presidential system, where that the buck stops here, the buck must stop here if the people are reasonable. As of now, we are still trying to learn about democracy. So that's my own thought about it.
Okay, and a powerful one, a long one at that. At this point, let me open the phone line so that our listener can join the conversation by dialing 0907-275-9950, 0907-275-9950, or you call us on 0706-815-8029, 0706-815-8029. Local government financial autonomy, problems and prospects. Professor Judu Denta is our guest this morning, and his concerns are that if care is not taken, local government perils will be created as against the chairman who should be handling the affairs of the people at the grassroots. And he also is of the opinion that it is not just about deciding on the funds, but having some sort of town hall meetings with stakeholders so that assignments will be carried out properly and promptly. And so, Prof, I'd like you to take us through the expected tasks, assignments of local government chairman.
No, if you go through the fourth schedule of our constitution, fourth schedule, you have all those things put there. You know, that they are going to be seeing about some roads, rural roads or street roads, those streets. You know, they have the trunk A, trunk B. They have a way they categorize all those things. They are going to be seeing about the health. They are going to say about primary school or primary education. They are going to see. There are so many things. Like, if you want to know the power of the local government, go and put a peg anywhere in Enugu.
For construction.
No, just put a peg. Just don't even start the work. Put a peg. The young men will rush you and to come and collect their money.
That's true.
You know, that's you know, I'm just trying to start a little bit. Just put a peg. You will see how they will rush you. But they are going to be there and the houses are falling. Building collapse all over the place. Why should building collapse when somebody is supposed to be monitoring and supervising and evaluating the buildings?
Maybe they don't even know how.
Because they don't know. They
don't know
they
how.
just collect the money. Let me tell you. You know, the problem is that now, like, when I built my house at Emene, 1998, 99, when we started, when we went for the, what do you call it, for the approval, we paid just 12,000 there. But now everything has gone into the state purse.
Yes.
So because it's not just about the federation account, the JAG must look at when the money comes from the state. Everyone that comes from the local government, the 10% of it should go to the local government. And that's why I was talking about the people. Are they human beings or are they slaves? The people must begin to look at our constitution. That's why I talked of looking at the constitution holistically. What was in the mind of the framers of the constitution? That's why I talked of. That JAG might not have been about the federation account. That JAG must have been about, or should have been about, the entire revenue of the state. Because all the money that used to come to the state now go to the local government. They now go to the state under what we call Enugu Capital Territory Development Authority. So you now pay about 2, 3, 4, 5 million for a building, and it goes to the state. And that's so it's humongous. Some people don't know that that's much money, because since the trouble started in the north, people are coming back to the east, and like Enugu is moving. Some money, you know, I know that some money would get to the local government, but it is like pittance compared to the amount of the money coming. So you mentioned the governors are meeting. I would wish that the political parties, particularly the PDP, that's supposed to be the principal opposition party, that the PDP should do their work. Look at UK. Immediately after the election, they will start showing you the shadow ministers. Where are the PDPs? Yes, I know we are not in the parliamentary system, we are in the presidential system. But the opposition is supposed to have shadow ministers for every ministry to be able to indicate that this is going wrong, this is going right. Give them thumbs up here, say thumbs down to what is going wrong. So it's not to be, you know, that it's going to be categories and garulas working against the government. No, because it's still our system. We are not going to throw away the bathwater and the baby. But the essence of opposition is control. It's control. It's monitoring. It's to ensure that things balance. You know, not to put things down. But in Nigeria, if you make a comment that you want things to work right, they will say, okay, and you will become an enemy instead of being. In fact, they are going to put you. I don't really know the English word I wanted to use. They are not just going to stigmatize you. They are going to put you, and if it's possible, they are going to lynch the individual. But this system is supposed to work for us. When we look at what we have now, and you look at what Zik fought for, look at what Okpara fought for, look at what Mbono Jike fought for, look at what Habal Mokele died for, because he died while campaigning for this country. And look at all those people I don't want to mention, the people that fought for this country and died. Because if I mention some names, people get angry and stop talking about other things. So I ask myself, if I am if I'm what are we doing? Are we on the right path, or have we just veered off the track and then we are now just fooling ourselves? These are the issues. That part of why sometimes when we come here, we sound as if we are possessed. We are not like we are possessed. It's just that things are not. I mean, some of us, we are looking at it and we are asking ourselves, people are dying trying to cross Mediterranean. People are doing slave work. Everybody, all our medical doctors are now jumping abroad. All our nurses are. Everybody's, when you are now doing nursing, it takes a lot of money now to train as a nurse, because you want to now go and become a nurse abroad, when we can take care of ourselves in this country? Why must our children be slaves abroad? And why are we doing that? So these are the things that worry me. Now that we are giving this autonomy, are we going to end up like the prodigal son, coming back instead of enjoying that freedom? These are my major worries.
Okay, the reason I brought up the issues of the assignment, the duties of local government chairman was because it's looking like even development in rural areas are still being handled by state governments.
Which state? Listen, my wife wants to be a health worker. Just about 5 years ago, not more than 5 years ago, she went to a part of Enugu. I'm talking of Enugu East. I'm not talking of some part of inside Enugu State. And an old man came and told him that this is the first time that they have ever seen a car. They came for primary health care. What do you call it? This one of those primary health care, one of those immunization programs. Mm-hmm. The people came out. They brought out their drums for her, saying that we have even tried. I'm not talking of another part. I'm talking of Enugu East local government, which is very, very close.
To the urban area.
Which is close to the headquarters.
They said it's the first time they're seeing it.
They are seeing a car, and they are participating in the immunization program. So and they were excited. So
the first time they're seeing a car, or the first time they're seeing a car come to that center?
No, to that particular. No, it was this program of immunization. Okay. So, and she was moving around trying to reach the unreached and unreachable. Mm-hmm. There are so many places in this country. Are you aware that it was in 1986? Because when you're talking of federal government, state government, it was in 1986 that a place called there was an old Borno state, something like that. A couple people, they were discovered in 1986. They were discovered in 1986. I'm talking of this country. If you go to part of Enugu State, some part of Isuzo, some part of Ozowani, in fact, it's like discovery. Forget about the headquarters. We're not talking about the headquarters. So the local government is supposed to do, but we find out that's part of why I said the communities must rise up and take up their job as communities. So if immediately, in fact, even without the money coming, all the town union presidents should meet in their various. They should hold a meeting and then go to the headquarters and tell them that they have come to collect the money. Even when they know that the money is not there, they will say we want, because it is the people that should decide on how much money should go to the local government chairman. It is the people of the local government that should decide on the amount of money. They will say, okay, N is the amount, and let me say 100%. 100% is the money. 100%. Then out of it they will say 5% goes for administration, 95% for recurrent. Out of the remaining 95%, they will say 45% for recurrent expenditure, then 50% for capital expenditure. They should decide. They are the ones that will decide, not somebody coming up with whatever he's thinking in his head. You know that under MPN, MPP, Shehu Shagari went and built houses in unapproachable lands. Some of them in areas that we are called evil forests in parts of the country. And those buildings remain unoccupied until today.
Unoccupied?
Until today. In fact, they turned into places for armed robbers and mad people. Because the people said, in the community, they said, this is a place that people should not enter into. These are the issues. So the community should be the first. That's why the communities should decide on what to do with their money. That money is for the community, not for the local government chairman. These are the issues. So it was a good decision. Let me tell you, there's a man called Samson in the Bible. In one of his lines when he was happy, he said, out of the killer comes something to eat, out of the strong comes something good. So something sweet will be coming from this decision now. But are we ready to enjoy that? Because something that could be bitter could end up being sweet. So it's a wonderful thing that maybe that's the beginning of the Nigerian revolution, if that's the word that I can use, turning things around.
Okay.
Beginning with the local government.
Okay, Prof. Autonomy means they're going to
freedom,
stand
independence
on their own, make their decisions.
Yes.
Is there supposed to be a supervisory role from another quarter?
Yes, but not like trying to, choke them. They said that He who is walking on the right path doesn't fear any investigation. You know, if you're walking on the right path and somebody says, "I want to check what you're doing," why should you be afraid? So the states should have some level of control, but that level of control should not be the one that is going to be invading to invade them. It should not be like an invasion, It should not be like an invasion. So it should be something that is going to be also what? Developmental. Whatever the state is going to do with government should be developmental. Government should be about the people, not about the governors and the other stakeholders. It should be about the people. That is it. So if we have a local government, somebody should control them. But first, the communities should control them. Then whenever the governors come into it to say do something, the people will also or should also understand. So I agree that the state they are not going. There's what is called it's called relative autonomy. It's like with the states and the federal government. The states have autonomy, yes, but the federal government also comes and says, "You have not done this well. You have not done this well." It should be allowed. So there should be that also relative autonomy of the local governments. And the more we watch them and the more they show that they're independent, then the more we are going to allow them to really enjoy that autonomy.
Okay, sir. There is something else. You mentioned that some places are so undeveloped that...
Yeah, so backward.
Yes. So now, do you believe that having this autonomy would help them get to those places and develop them as much as the other places that are now developed? Do you think that being able to handle it by themselves would help them?
Yeah, that was why the Spirit told me to say 10 years. The Spirit told me to say 10 years because within this period, people should. Those from those areas. I went to a place in Isuzo one time, not really inside. I went to Mbu. I went to Mbakoti. I went to other places during what we call ordination ceremony, and we were celebrating. And when I looked at it, I was shouting. I was saying to myself, these people, they produced Senator Hezekiah, who was a very good friend to Jim Nobody. And then I was asking myself, what are we really doing in this country? When I went to, because I normally go to Ebonyi State, I went to one of the federal institutions, inside Ebonyi. Then I was telling myself, it is good to have state creation. I said it is good to have state creation. Because I was asking myself, if not for this state creation, what will happen to these particular people? So it is a good thing that is happening, but what I'm trying to add to it is that the communities must not wait for the local government chairman to call them. They should go to the local government chairman and tell them that they have come here to take their power. That's what I'm saying. Because all those people collect their money of 100,000 naira that is given to the Igwe or to the town union, whatever. They should go straight and tell them, we have come to see, because that money, the federation account is always online. When the money comes, they should not wait for that now, because maybe there will be a small window for them to, correct everything. They should not go now. They should go now and say, where is our money? Even when they know it's still somewhere, they should go and ask them. And if the man wants to start fighting them, they should fight him. That's why I was talking of lynching. People are going to be killed. It's not like it's going to be. It is going to be, people's power. People's power is going to be used, and when it is used, then everybody is going to be reasonable. Look at what happened in Kano State. When the people wanted to take over, APC wanted to do whatever they are doing in other states in Kano State. And when they saw about 2 to 3 million people shouting in the street, nobody borrowed themselves. Nobody borrowed themselves to know that we are not going to start them. No, we are not.
It's not business.
It's not business as usual. The people must wake up, because if they don't wake up, people will use their money and buy houses abroad, and then they will remain poor, and then people will be kidnapping everybody. But let me tell you, if the local government in every part of this part of the country, if you are driving along the way, I know that driving is not dangerous, but if you are driving and you are going from one state to another, you'll be seeing palm trees all over the place. These palm trees, that is money. One of my late friends, Aronko, she said her name is Aronko, because every part of Anko is money.
Profitable.
It's profitable. So you will see Unko across. That's one of the gifts of God to the southeast. That Unko, you can turn it into palm kernel cracking. You can turn it into producing for animal feed. You can turn it into producing, if you go to Uganda today, people are now using plantain to produce cloths. Beautiful cloths. they turn into yams. And because if you look at plantain and banana, you see when you get one, you see the threads. So they are turning those threads into. They are not waiting for cotton again. So the local governments can help their community, employ the people, farm settlements, and all those things. And people are going to be busy. Anybody that's busy will not have time for talking.
Yeah, seriously, because I feel like we need this to be able to develop some places.
Yes.
Sometimes I go for Abamanko.
Beautiful.
And
I'm happy that you just mentioned it. Abamanko, I did burial. No, Abamanko, we went for a burial. I don't want to. I won't mention the surname, but one of our friends.
Because I'm going to blow you.
Yeah, I won't mention the surname. A place very close to. It was here, very close to this. Very close to this. When we went to that place, we crossed one town, which is close to the governor's town now. I don't want to mention the main town because I don't want to embarrass anybody. For us to, when we got there, everybody had to park their car. For the cars to move, the cars were dancing. Going through the morning. Then at a stage, we now had to go through what they call a quagmire. The bridge is called a quagmire. It's Monkey Bridge. So we had to carry people had to carry the body because there was no road. So there was no means. So people were not carrying the body and dancing. They had to carry the body, walk about 500, 600 across the river because there was that monkey bridge. That's what the people are using. And I'm talking of 21st century Igbo land, which is developed. I don't want to talk of the north. So what is happening is revolutionary. But are we going to enjoy? Is it going to revolution betray?
Now that you have gone back to this particular point, you asked if we were ready to actually handle local government autonomy the way it should be handled. Local government, okay, people at the grassroots or the masses, most people are not knowledgeable enough to understand that when this happens, local governments will pay primary school teachers' salary, handle health centers, and do the roads. You're talking about roads. Let's talk to this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Talk again. Good morning.
Prof, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
America needs to go important.
Okay.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Prof, as a scholar in public administration, is now giving an early warning mechanism, just giving the early warning mechanism of the realities of the government autonomy.
Good.
Most of the things he's saying now might sound strange, but they are real. And if his advice is not taken into consideration, those prophecies of doom he prophesied will come to pass. Because he's a research-based scholar, and he's saying what the benefits of local government autonomy, how we can put it in our context so that it will reflect what is autonomy of the local government. So, the authorities in power are listening. It's left to them to do the needful or first do. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you, Nyameka Nichuku Jr. One or two more calls and we will begin to wind down. 0907-275-9950 or 0706-815-8029. Prof, I'm still talking about our readiness. If you do not understand what your roles are, you may not even know how to tackle them when you get to the bridge. And so, what are those things that are expected to be put in place before this autonomy can work? In 1 minute, Prof.
Every structure is already in place, but the question is this: are we aware of these structures? The people are supposed to be citizens. They are supposed to now. That's why I said that they should just go straight to the local government headquarters and ask the chairman where is our money. Then and they will tell him we are coming next week to distribute our money. The way we distribute no matter how small, that's the way we should do. So the structures are already there. But are we ready to enable these structures? That is the question. Because if we now know that there are still going to be a problem between them and the state too, then that will be another part. Because like I just mentioned, that if you're building a house in the local government, the money should go to the local government. Incidentally, we now have Enugu Capital Territory Development Authority. So the states are also going to sit down and work out good relationship. That is where, as they are working out, that's why you have AGON, that's why you have Local Government Service Commission. Because if you don't control these people, some of these people, they don't have the human angle to life. You know, if a local government chairman looks at any woman and feels that as because of his youthful exuberance, because almost all these local government chairmen are young people. They are like members of the house. They are all young. People not talk of getting the youth. The youth are always there, but what do they do with their political office? They don't do anything with it. They will look at the face and look at Chioma. Chioma has fine face, Chioma has beautiful legs, and then begins to now say he wants to have Chioma, and Chioma doesn't want to come. Then he will sack Chioma. That is the kind of thing we don't want to see. Yeah. It happened before. That was why in 1991 it was cancelled. They had to cancel it because the government chairman began to act like crazy, and it had to be removed immediately. It was taken back because the Government Service Commission, we must work out how do we now make it work so that we control these people. The AGON was made to work, and then at the level of the state, at the level of the nation, the AGON should be able to empower the local governments, also control them. These are so we have the structures. The issue is, are we ready to use the structures
already?
The structures are already there.
Your recommendations as we conclude.
No, what I have just said is that the communities should take their power. That's the only thing. The communities should move in and take their power and get the local government structure to work in their interest, because it's about interest now. That's my recommendation.
All right.
All the towns and communities, whether you call them autonomous communities, one of them should now get down and begin to now make the local government political office holders understand that they are their masters, not the other way around.
All right. Thank you, Professor Judo Denta, for lending voice to this ongoing conversation, local government financial autonomy. And today we looked at the problems and prospects. I believe our listener has taken a point or two from the discussions we had this morning with Professor Judo Denta of Department of Political Science and Administration. I am letting that go. I think it's government and administration also. I hope I'm correct.
Yeah, try, no problem. My department is public
administration. I just have, okay.
But I'm a professor of government and public administration. Oh, but my department is public administration. But I also work with political science. Oh, because that's my major. That's my primary area.
I was even thinking the mechanic was wrong when he pointed out that you are public administration.
Yes, that's my department.
I'm listening things, yeah. And he's been in a lot of positions. But I had to bring up this because it's relevant to our conversation this morning. Thank you, Prof, for finding time to be with us.
We thank God for keeping us alive, in these troubled times, and we continue to pray for more.
Thank you, Nameka Anichukwu, for joining the conversation as well via telephone. And dear listener, we appreciate you for being with us. We are still here on the Breakfast Show. After the Sunrise Sports at 9 o'clock, we will be back by 10 o'clock to have another conversation. And as always, it's going to be interactive. And this time around, we know that it's been muted around, that people are getting set for a protest, a national protest. And so we will like to have a conversation on governance, the leadership and governance issues in Nigeria, a non-violent approach to sustainable development. Non-violent approach, okay? So join us at 10 o'clock for that conversation. My name is Ngozeka Mba, signing off on Matters of the Moment, first round. We'll be back at 10 on Spotlight. Chioma was here.
My name is Chioma Agolana. See you at 10.
Don Chukwu is on the sports desk this morning. Join in.